President Donald Trump was supposed to return to the witness stand today in his civil case involving fraud. Now, he backed out last minute and tried to explain why in various social media posts, which we'll get to in just a minute. But remember, as recently as Sunday morning, meaning yesterday, Trump had been expected to testify in his own defense in this case in which the New York Attorney General has accused him of fraudulently inflating his net worth. Now, he announced his decision not to return to the witness stand this morning in all caps messages posted on Truth Social. I'll give you a few excerpts of what he had to say. As everyone knows, I have very successfully and conclusively testified in the corrupt Biden-directed New York State Attorney General's rigged trial against me. He also said world-renowned experts, highly respected bank and insurance executives, real estate professionals, as well as others, both honest and credible, have stated clearly and unequivocally that I and my very successful company did nothing wrong. He continued by saying that his financial statements were extraordinary. I should note that the judge has already found him guilty in a summary judgment. At this point, they're trying to figure out what the penalties will be for the fraud that was committed. And Eli Bartov apparently is one of the people who is going to testify for the defense here. He's an accounting professor at New York University, and he's instead expected to conclude the defense's case to be followed by several rebuttal witnesses called by the Attorney General's lawyers. In January, both parties are expected to file final briefs, after which the trial judge, Arthur Engoron, is expected to deliver his ruling. Now, it is important to understand that Bartov, while he is going to be testifying on behalf of the defense here, he was paid handsomely to do so, almost $900,000 to be exact. He was paid a little more than $1,300 an hour for his services, and then he worked about 650 hours on the case to defend the former president, putting his total at $877,500. He did testify on Friday, which with Donald Trump in the courtroom at the time. So let's take a little peek at what went down.
So the true story, according to Trump and this expert witness that they brought forward on the stand this past week, was that the expert found that there was no fraud or evidence of fraud when it came to Trump's financial statements. And he said that the Attorney General's office, which has brought this case, came to flawed conclusions. Now, as you mentioned, Trump was present there. He is not legally obligated to be there or at that time. But I think it's really part of this framing of him, ginning up his base and really being labeled or framing himself as being politically prosecuted out.
So yeah, I really do think that his lawyers dissuaded him from taking the stand. He has taken the stand once before. I don't think it worked to his favor. And I don't believe that he didn't commit any fraud. I don't believe the testimony of Bartov here, especially considering what we've already seen in the valuations for Trump's properties. They were clearly inflated. I don't really think they're inflated to the extent that the Attorney General is claiming, but I do believe that there's been quite a bit of evidence of fraud being committed in this case, which is why that summary judgment was passed down by the judge. And now the real question is, what will the consequences be, right? Will he be able to still run his business in New York State? I guess we're gonna wait and see what happens.
So last Thursday, Alina Habba, one of his lawyers, said about Trump, this is a direct quote, he's not afraid. People that are afraid cower. President Trump doesn't cower. We'll see you on Monday. Except we didn't, did we? Because he cowered. So let's be honest about who Donald Trump is. Big blowhard. Oh, I'm gonna testify. I'm totally innocent. This is a deep state prosecution and persecution. I'm gonna show the world. And what happened, big guy? Apparently you're super weak. You're afraid, you're a coward. Well, the lawyers will say he might implicate himself. That's right, if he's guilty, he would definitely implicate himself because he's also a moron. he would go on the stand and go, oh yeah, I lowered the prices, I increased the prices because I'm a genius. Because he's a moron. He'll admit everything he did. He does it publicly all the time. That's why his lawyer's like, please don't, please, I'm begging you, too stupid to put on the stand. We'll definitely lose if we put your dumb ass on the stand. He's like, I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it. And then he didn't, he ran like a little baby. Well, babies crawl away. He ran away. He's like, ah. What happened, big tough guy MAGA? Apparently your leader is pathetically weak and he's so scared of the prosecutor in New York. Don't you guys hate her? Isn't it so easy to beat her, right? But apparently Donald Trump thinks he can't beat her because he's too scared of her. What a coward.
So my perspective on this is a little different. I think that he very likely wanted to take the stand. And I think that it took a lot of work by his lawyers to dissuade him from doing so.
Yeah.
Because he is his own worst enemy, right? So like,
100%.
That's different from being scared of the, I don't think he's scared of the prosecutor.
No, wait. I totally agree with you until that last sentence. So any lawyer in the right mind will look at a moron like Donald Trump, go, I'm not putting him on the stand. Lifelong criminal, charged 91 counts, and he's so stupid, he's gonna go on there and brag about his crimes. And any prosecutor, it's like a mediocre prosecutor, can egg him on so easy, right? Oh yeah, I bet your properties aren't worth that much. Oh, they're worth the most. They're worth $10 billion. Oh yeah, then why did you say this on your taxes? No, they're worth nothing. Like he's an idiot. Of course, any reasonable lawyer would tackle him rather than put him on the stand. But at the end of the day, he said he was gonna do it, that he was a tough guy and that he was right. And that he didn't do any of this. If I hadn't done any of that, I'd go on the stand, okay? But at the end of the day, when the lawyers told him, don't do it, Donald, he got scared. He got scared, and so he didn't do it. I mean, there's no ands, ifs, or buts about it. You can't go out publicly and go, I'm gonna do it because I'm not scared. We're not gonna cower, and then cower. That's exactly what you did. Everyone in MAGA has to admit he's a coward and a liar. Because, I mean, you guys say, and even Donald Trump has said, now this is not a criminal case, this is a civil case, but he said anyone who takes the Fifth Amendment is obviously guilty. So, and by the way, him and his family have been taking the Fifth Amendment all over those criminal cases. And now when he has a chance to prove his point, to show how right he is, he ran like a weakling.
Now, New York Attorney General Letitia James says that his refusal to take the stand for the second time isn't much of a problem. She posted on X that Donald Trump already testified in our fraud case against him. Whether or not he testifies again, we have already proven that he committed years of financial fraud and unjustly enriched himself. No matter how much he tries to distract from reality, the facts don't lie. So again, he's already been found guilty for fraud. So I don't know what the final decision will be by the judge. We're not gonna find out until early next year. But remember, this is just one instance of the legal issues he's facing as his presidential campaigning continues. He still has another case in Georgia having to do with election interference, and then he has two other federal cases. One that's of course being led by Special Counsel Jack Smith, who just today appealed to the United States Supreme Court to have them make the final decision as to whether or not Donald Trump is protected by executive privilege, because that is one of the stalling techniques that the defense is using in that case to kind of, push that case as far back as possible. So once Donald Trump wins a second term, which it's increasingly looking like that's gonna happen, he could just pardon himself.
So at every turn when Donald Trump has an opportunity to prove that he's an actual tough guy rather than a weak bully, he never takes it. So MAGA, in this case, he told you he was gonna testify and then he ran like a little whatever, right? You fill in the blank, you're good at that. And then on the, in the case of the debates, he's, oh yeah, I beat those guys, no problem. Didn't, ran. He always runs.
I know, Jake, but like, let's keep it real.
I got it.
It's smart to do that with the debates.
Okay, all right, you know what? He's such a genius for being a coward. It's okay. But you can't say he's not afraid. He's obviously afraid. He's afraid that he's gonna slip up in the trial, he's gonna slip up in the debates, and it's gonna cost him. That's why you don't go to the debates, because you're worried you're gonna make a mistake, right?
That's a fair point.
Okay,
sure.
So all right, you could call it smart or whatever you like, but it's definitely cowardly. Like a real man would show up and kick their ass, right? And he runs. Okay, now most importantly, he had 60 court cases to present one piece of evidence that the election was stolen, and he didn't do it, and he didn't show up to any of those cases. Why? Okay, I mean, you tell me why. Either he doesn't have the evidence or he has evidence, but he's so pathetically afraid that he can't present it in court because he's worried he's gonna get in trouble. Isn't he letting you guys down? You guys believe in the deep state nonsense. You think like, oh yeah, the deep state, man, they fixed the election and we got mules and krakens. So great, in the other, this is a civil one, but in the criminal cases, on the actual issue of stealing the election, he's gonna get to present any evidence he has. And I'm gonna tell you right now, he's gonna be a coward again. He's not gonna present any evidence, first of all, because he doesn't have any, he's lying. And that's never gonna get through to you guys. You're gonna be like, oh no, you know something's true when you have no evidence for it. Show me the evidence. Go in court and show one piece of evidence that the election was stolen. And when he's convicted on all these counts, what are you guys gonna do? The same guys who said, no, Kyle Rittenhouse is innocent because the jury said it. Our court system is awesome. If a court system says that he's not guilty, he's not guilty. And if Trump is found guilty, you know what you guys are gonna say? Our court system sucks, man. No way, you can't trust judges or juries. No way, deep state, no. When we win, it's awesome, when we love it. When we lose and we present no evidence and our guy's a coward, we're all gonna pretend to be strong and then it's a deep state. Believe any fantasy you like, but the rest of us all know that it's a fantasy and we'll look at you like, Jesus, are they okay? They sound really damaged.
It doesn't matter because their guy's gonna be president again.
Yeah, well, that's because our side loses to that guy.
I know, that's why I just.
That's unbelievable. And by the way, you guys want to mock us back for that? Not us, but the Democratic Party? Hey, if you can't find a way to beat Trump, and I just told you how dumb Trump is, well, how dumb are you? So that's the Democratic Party. You can't beat this guy. You can't beat Donald Trump. Come on, Democratic Party. Every Democratic leader should retire out of shame.
Thanks for watching the video, guys. We also love it if you hit the join button below because that makes you a member, and members allow us to be independent, honest. We can be as progressive as we want, no corporate media influence, and that's all because of you guys. We love doing the show with our members. Hit the join button, become one of the Young Turks.